Seattle is Trump's city far more than New York is. The more humiliated they are, the more dangerous they become. They will say anything and do anything to anyone to have their fit regarded as respectable when it isn't. They're inventing things right and left. I'll give you an example of what they're doing, which hopefully will close this response to their tactical extrusion. Roger Waters and his gang are going to call it a limited hangout until I say something about Princess Diana. The facts are very limited when it comes to Princess Diana. No prior knowledge of what was coming registered on me in any way. I was with Raymond when it was announced, and he was upset and blaming the tabloids. I didn't mention what came up later, which is that Eric Slagle had taught me how to play the game royalty with his girlfriend who called herself an Anglophile and had a relative in the New Jersey Secret Service whose congressman sent me a letter after I responded to his political poppycock. His father evidently had Parkinson's, and I learned of Parkinson's later. So you can see the Clucker control system. It later registered on me that I had been taught this game royalty. Does that mean anything? It's people who will put things together. Alina Shaykat was killed over Tupac Shakur. Pennsylvania detectives admitted that to me and told me it might be a better idea not to talk about it. What did she have to do with it? Turned out, from what I read, that there was another black man. The tag team that put 2 packs of cigarettes and Gunsmoke in my mailbox were reported to the police department. One was white and one was black. What does that have to do with Alina Shaykat? You know, when somebody shot up the tree of life, Melanie Trump left a white rose. The next thing you know, Citizen Kennedy was gone. And Al Dugan's daughter went up in a supernova. What does that have to do with Al Dugan? Doesn't. This is what you get for listening to Ringo Starr. I mean, that's the reason why I didn't suspect anything of Slagle, was because his gang was with Ringo promoting, you know, the idea that I was a misfit and a nobody. While not allowing me to be just a street urchin. They came up with this, you know Ben Gavir, the respectable man who's bombing, and Smotrich, exterminating Lebanon, calling it their playground. Came up with this idea because we were bickering all the time. That I had something to do with the death of Mark Lieberman. Well, I wrote a letter saying I would prosecute anybody who there was evidence. You know, it's the same thing with Donnie Chen. Rumors went around. And the rumor machine is inventing this stuff. They're playing Stalk the Murder Ball. They're making a shadow warfare voodoo system because they've subjected the persona to the successive degradations of the X motive. They want abortion to be comprehended as murder and acted upon. This is like the spectral intelligence warlord of the Ouspensky circles. Yeah, that they don't actually believe themselves should be perfectly obvious from Toon and his administration of Botstein. but their ghostly fabrications hold weight because people don't bother with what's true or false. They don't fact check. They create myths and supernatural ideas. And they have a supernatural eye on me and those I love, saying, Princess Diana, Princess Diana, when it was in fact Ringo Starr's circle who tipped me off, if that's what you want to call it, who deeply suggested something that came to mind much, much later. So the petty yellow furor in Pepperland is going to crow, Cudda, 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 in his revenge Pearl Harbor, which is what 911 was. Cudda, 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 Cudda.